No decisions have been made about building anything.
No, I'm not saying about
No. Your question, you started out saying, is there going to be an administration building that's going to be wherever? And my point to you is none of those decisions have been made. The legislation has not been passed. In the event the legislation is passed, based on what I'm reading here, any decision, whether it's about busing, whether it's to the teacher's point about transferring, teachers having to move around the district, all of that conversation and all of those decisions will be made by whatever that school board looks like. Just like right now, in this district, these fine men and women sitting here set policy for the superintendent to implement. That concept will not change based on what I've read in the legislation.
Basically, what I was saying is, I just don't want, if I have a problem, I need to see a superintendent. How far do I have to go? Right here, I can put in my car and go to the district office. If something I can't handle, something at the school. But if I got to travel a whole lot of miles, that's going to deter me. I'm not going to do it until I get so fed up that I have to do it.
Let me try this once more. There have been no decisions made about how far you would have to go to see a superintendent. None. You, by your expressing that tonight, what I am very clear about is that access to school administrators and district administrators is very important to you. I'm also very clear that you aren't interested in having to drive 45 miles to talk to an administrator with the district. So I'm hearing you loud and clear, but I can't answer it any better than I already have by saying to you none of those decisions have been made, and any decision that will be made dealing with the school district, attendance lines, all of that kind of stuff, that will be made by whatever that board looks like in the event that this goes through.
Yes, I'm the art teacher here at Lake Marion High School, and I live in Orangeburg. I guess my concern is that when I first heard about this, it seemed awfully rushed. I mean, suddenly we're hearing that they're going to pass this thing in the Senate, and suddenly it was consolidation. So I'm getting that feeling like with law. I'm feeling that, and like you said, we can make this decision now or in January when it's voted for, but then all those other decisions are then out of our hands. And we're once again in a situation where we don't have a lot to say in what's going to happen or where that new district office may or may not be built or all these other things, because we'll have a whole other group of people, that aren't really local to us, or just a few of them will be. And I think that's real my concern. I don't like the idea of the consolidation. I'll be right out and tell you. Because of that, I want to keep things local.
Thank you, Mr. Guy. So let me ask you, just so I understand the point you're making, would it be accurate to say that your concern is with representation in the event that this passes, that part of your concern is with local representation on that board?
Yeah.
So that you want to make sure that there is representation, adequate representation for this community.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
I think that if they will give us an opportunity to look at what's going on in our districts now, that we might be able to adjust some of our practices and save some money. My biggest concern is that there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of our personnel who will not have jobs. And I do not want to see anybody lose their jobs. And I too would like to see that we are treated fairly. And when it comes time, I know that the bill, I've read the bill over and over, and I know that it says that the superintendent will be elected by the board. And I feel sure that they're going to have some deputies or some associates. And the superintendent then is responsible for hiring the people and assigning the people to the places. So all those questions would have to be answered if and when consolidation is passed. But, and I agree with the lady from Utah. I just wonder what would happen if maintenance has to come all the way from the central office, which I know will be in Harrisburg. And we have commodes overflowing down here. How long is it going to take to get somebody down to fix it?
Madam Chair, thank you so much for putting in for, as the old folks say, making it plain and giving us an example that we all can relate to. Let's hope and pray that we don't have a kind of system that if a commode is running over down here, we got to wait for somebody to come 30 miles to address it. God knows that would not be good for our kids, our sense of smell, and a whole bunch of other stuff. My nose started itching when you said